If you ask anyone to name a Russian politician, they'll probably say Vladimir Putin. Putin has been a highly prominent and widely known figure both in Russia and internationally because of his long-standing role as the president of the largest country in the world. But did you know that before becoming the Russian president, he also worked for the KGB as a spy? From the shadows of intelligence to the pinnacle of power, Vladimir Putin's journey is a story of his rise to power that not many men have experienced in their careers. He's so powerful that people criticize him for limiting freedom of rights, having too much control, and even silencing his opponents. Let's have a look at his life that started from being a spy to running the largest country in the world. This is the story of Vladimir Putin. Vladimir Putin was born in 1952 in Leningrad in the Soviet Union, which is now St. Petersburg in Russia. Although much of his personal life details are secret, we know that his childhood wasn't as great as his life is right now. He was the youngest child of his parents, Vladimir Spiridonovic and Maria Ivanova Putina. Putin's family lived in a modest, rat-infested communist apartment, a common living arrangement at the time, where several families shared facilities. Compare it to his alleged grand residences and holiday homes of today, you have to agree that it's a very stark difference. Have you ever seen him having a good laugh? Probably not, right? This tells us that he has always been a strong-headed person, having practiced martial arts in his youth and getting into fistfights too. Anyway, young Vladimir completed his schooling in Leningrad and entered the law faculty at Leningrad State University in 1970. He was good at studies and showed interest in state matters. His time at the university coincided with a thorough study of law and an exploration of intelligence work through involvement with the KGB, the Soviet security agency. After graduating in 1975, Putin's education background laid the groundwork for his later career in public service, because at university, he was required to join the Communist Party of the Soviet Union, or CPSU, and remained a part of it until 1991, when the Soviet Union finally fell. The combination of legal knowledge, intellectual rigor, and early exposure to the intricacies of state affairs became crucial aspects of his long political journey ahead. Did you know Putin has a PhD in economics? That's right, folks. Although it's still said to be plagiarized, President Putin got his doctorate degree in 1997 from the St. Petersburg Mining University. Enjoying the video so far? Please press the like button to help us grow and subscribe to our channel for more interesting content. Now let's continue. After graduating from university, Putin started a secret career in intelligence. His recruitment into the KGB in 1975 was based on his smarts and strong interest in national security. Assigned to the first Chief Directorate dealing with foreign intelligence, Putin went through tough training to learn about spying, counterintelligence, and secret operations. He was then sent to Dresden, East Germany, working undercover as a Soviet intelligence officer between 1985 and 1990. There, he worked using a cover identity as a translator because he was fluent in German and was even promoted to the level of lieutenant colonel. Later, he retired from KGB service and returned to Russia in 1990, which was followed by the collapse of the Soviet Union, which truly affected him, and he called it the greatest geopolitical catastrophe of the 20th century. Now, the stars had aligned, and it was time for his meteoric rise in Russian politics. In 1996, St. Petersburg's former mayor Anatoly Sobchak lost his bid for re-election after facing corruption allegations and fled abroad. Vladimir Putin continued his rapid ascent, moving to the Russian capital, Moscow. By 1998, he led the KGB's primary successor organization, and in 1999, President Boris Yeltsin appointed him as prime minister, the country's second highest office. This move literally catapulted him from relative obscurity to the doorstep of presidency. When an ailing and unpopular Yeltsin resigned on December 31, 1999, Putin stepped in as acting president. Shortly afterward, he won election to a full term. Have you ever thought about why he is constantly holding the president's seat? Well, let me tell you. The answer to that can be divided into two broad reasons. Number 1. Around the time Putin gained the president's seat, the Russian economy faced a long and wrenching depression, and it is estimated that the country saw a massive 50% decline in GDP from 1990 to 1995. But it was also the time when oil and gas prices were on the rise. So Russia, having large oil and gas reserves, witnessed economic improvement and rising living standards in the early 2000s under Putin's rule. Most Russians perceive him as a symbol of stability, and the way he restored order after the turbulent post-Soviet era positioned him deep in the country. Number 2. When Putin became president, Russia's constitution allowed only 2 consecutive terms. So when his second term ended in 2008, he served as prime minister before returning as president in 2012. In January 2020, Putin proposed a constitutional amendment extending presidential terms. This amendment was a part of an approved broader package of changes and was endorsed by the Russian legislature in July 2020, following a national referendum. Now you know why Putin is still president of Russia. It's wild to think that people who grew up in the 90s and later have only seen Putin representing such a massive country. This tells just how powerful and influential he is. Despite the full support of the Russian people, controversies surrounding Vladimir Putin's leadership have been a defining aspect of his political tenure. He has many times placed friends and former intelligence colleagues in influential positions, leading to their substantial wealth. He's propagated a cult personality where people close to his interests have been awarded for their loyalty, and those who oppose him are labeled as traitors and have faced, well, a very harsh treatment. Some, like oil magnate Mikhail Khodorkovsky, found themselves imprisoned, while others met untimely deaths. The year 2006 witnessed the targeted killings of investigative journalist Anna Politkovskaya on Putin's birthday and Russian defector Alexander Litvinenko in England using radioactive polonium. More recent events include the banning of Alexei Navalny from running for president, and he even survived an assassination attempt. Last year, in 2023, Yevgeny Viktorovich, who was Putin's close confidant before rebelling against him in June, was killed in a plane crash. Now, no one is accusing him of anything here, but these incidents definitely have fueled international criticism, raising concerns about having opposing opinions and the safety of his political opponents. Vladimir Putin's relationship with Western powers has undergone significant shifts over the years. Initially, many Western leaders, including U.S. President George W. Bush, viewed Putin favorably. Bush even expressed trust in Putin, describing him as straightforward and trustworthy. The early 2000s saw collaboration in the war on terror, with Putin being the first foreign leader to call Bush after the 9/11 attacks. However, tensions escalated with NATO's 2004 expansion into Eastern Europe, and the pro-Western movements in Georgia and Ukraine strained the relations. He felt protective over traditional Russian values and criticized perceived Western interference. The annexation of Crimea in 2014 led to Russia's expulsion from the G8, and Putin's granting asylum to a U.S. Espionage Act violating convict, Edward Snowden, strained ties further. Snowden remains wanted in the U.S. and is still in Russia. Putin's relations with the U.S. took a downturn after accusations of interference in the 2016 election. Despite initially friendly ties with President Donald Trump, tensions peaked with Russia's 2022 invasion of Ukraine, resulting in economic sanctions and strained relations. President Biden's strong condemnations by calling him a thug, a murderous dictator, and a war criminal have also fueled the fire, and it seems unlikely that these tensions will die down anytime soon. No one can deny the fact that Vladimir Putin's leadership style and enduring influence have shaped Russia's trajectory, contributing to complex dynamics in international relations and sparking ongoing debates about his role in the world. What do you think of him? Do you think his policies are good or not? Tell us in the comments. So that's it for this video. We hope you found it interesting. If you did, please give it a big thumbs up and share it with others. Also, if you haven't already, please consider subscribing to our channel. Finally, don't forget to turn on the notification bell so you don't miss any of our new uploads. Check out this video on the screen about the Cold War. Thanks for watching this one, and we will see you there.